Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. We're just going to give it a couple of minutes and wait for everyone to jump on up. We got Lee up, we got Dan up. Hey, guys.
Hey, mate, you all right?
I'm good. I'm good. How are we doing?
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah, good. I think we're just waiting on Dale now. Have we got anyone recording this before we divulge?
I'd take that as a no.
It's always worth thinking of, right?
So why don't we ask if someone could record?
Yeah, we've got one guy that's going to record it for us.
I guess this is something we might have overlooked, eh?
Yeah, no, Dan sorted it. You have little faith. Dan is all over it.
He's a legend. Well done, Dan.
It's supposed to be a good time to mention this. Dan is actually our lead moderator. So well done, Dan. Great work in the initial setup on the pre-sale, and thanks for all your hard work, mate, and dedication.
And someone invite Dan.
Oh, by the way.
Sorry.
Sorry, Dan, I couldn't hear you there, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, cheers for that. It's glad to be on board. Sorry, I was just getting it ready for recording.
That's all right, mate. No worries. You crack on. Hi, Dale. You're not coming through, Dale, if you're talking, buddy. We'll let Dale sort his mic out. That's fine. We'll come back to him in a moment. Right, so welcome everyone to Swapsicle's second ever AMA. We've been wanting to talk to you all for quite some time, but we really feel it's important to hold these AMAs, and we feel we've got something we want to talk to you guys directly about, and also give you guys the open forum to kind of ask away and, you know, have that conversation with you. Today, as you can see, I'm joined by Lee and Al, our co-founders, and Tom, our CEO, and Dale, he is our head of commercial operations, and myself, Jacob. I am the head of marketing. So I'm going to give you guys a bit of an overview on what we're going to talk today about, a rough agenda, and we're going to try and stick within a time limit of, say, an hour and 15 minutes. So yeah, we will do our best to answer all questions, but we'll get cracking. So we're gonna open up to talk about the white paper first and foremost, and we're gonna actually talk through this with you guys, and then at the end we're gonna open up for some questions that you may have around any of the information we've discussed on the white paper or any information you may have read. And after that, we're going to then go through a couple of FAQs that we've seen within the Discord. And then after that, we're going to bring up a special guest, and we'll be explaining to you why it is a special guest that we're looking to bring up. So yeah, why don't we just dive right in? So there's been a lot of work going on in the background regarding the white paper, and there have been some tweaks and discussions as we've moved forward. And I know, Al, you've been putting a bit of time in the background actually getting this all presentable, dotting the I's and crossing the T's. So who better to kind of ask to kind of explain a little bit about the intro of the white paper? Can you hear me, Al? Or are you on mute, Al, and not realised?
Has he just dropped off?
Now, which can kind of intro you into the start of a white paper. Alan?
I've
Okay,
just
I'll
noticed
have.
that Dale and Jake have dropped off as well.
So what's happening?
Are you all right to bring them up, Dan, when they come back in?
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Jake.
Hi guys, can you hear me now?
I can,
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened there? Did
I'm getting a lot of DMs saying that Discord's crashing, and people aren't being heard. People can't get in and stuff like that. So I'm just going to have to kind of lead with it. I'll give Alan one more opportunity to see if he can intro this or not. Can I hear Alan? No. Right. Well, I'm going to have to lead with this from an information point of view, if that's all right, Jacob. Yeah.
yeah,
Enthusiast. So that's what we've tried to achieve when writing our white paper, is to kind of have like a, let's say, a dumbed down version and like and all the hardcore facts within it from percentage based figures as well. And we wanted to make sure that it was important that anybody who was reading it could actually understand it as well. So under the hood, powering the DEX itself, Swapsicle will enable core features such as trading, liquidity pools, staking, farming, and governance, plus additional features to be launched in the future that include crowdfunding, lottery, and lending. You could say these features are vital organs, are key engine parts, but it's our POPs token that is the blood or the oil that is pumped around the system, bringing life to a well-oiled machine. The POPs token is instrumental to the Swapsicle ecosystem that will unlock incentivized systems and services, thereby becoming a valuable asset to hold. And then it leads us on to the trading part of it, right? And the kind of pairs that we're going to be going live with are going to be Pops, Fire, and Avax, as well as a few others, as long as we can tie up some kind of commercial agreements there afterwards, yet to be announced. Then let's talk about on our platform are 0.3% for all trades. And 0.21675% will be added to the LP of that trading pair. Then we have 0.045% transactional fee that will be paid to community capital reward pool, which is something that we wanted to do. We wanted to give back to the system, right, and give back to the community who kind of incubated us in the initial stages, which we're really grateful for. And then a 0.03825% will be added to the state POPs tokens holders pool. So on every avenue, Swapsicle aren't taking any of these fees themselves. They are looking to spread these fees around for everybody to kind of eat at the table, as to speak. So yeah, that's the idea by kind of from a fee distribution point of view. So let me just give you an example so you can kind of get an idea from a physical value point of view. So 0.3% times $10,000, which is $30. So that would be what the fee would be for that. And then $21.67.5 will be added to the LP. Then 0.045% of $10,000 is $4.50. So for every $10,000 traded, $4.50 goes to PCC reward pool. Then 0.03825% times $10,000 is $3.82.5, which will go to what we call the ice cream van pool, which is where you stake your POPs tokens. And the concept is you take your POPs to the ice cream van and you come out with more POPs than you went there with. So that's the concept. Then, Dale, are you ready to talk? Are you back online now?
I think we're all having audio problems here, Lee. I'm dropping on and off to be able to hear you, but I take it I can hear you've got up to staking. I'm not sure everything. Right now, I'd say just crack on, Lee. Keep going.
Right. What about can anybody speak at the moment? Is Dale got any speaking at all or not? You need to unmute yourself, Dale. No, everybody's getting kicked out apart from me.
Yeah, I'm me. There's Discord. There's issues on the whole Discord. It's not just this channel.
Right. Okay. Thank you for explaining, Dan. Well, what I'll do, I'll battle on, and because I seem to be the only one who seems to have decent connections through it, then basically I'll lead on to explain. I see Dale's unmuted himself now, so can you talk, Dale, or not? No. Okay, cool. So basically, just to talk you through the concept of a user, right? So let's say, for instance, you're a community member and you want to add liquidity into a community liquidity pool. You're going to bring 50% of one token and 50% of the other, and you're going to add those to the liquidity pool. Then what you would do, you would get an LP token in return for that, right? And obviously the fee distribution within that is that you get obviously 0.27675% of each transactions by supplying liquidity to that pool. Then you have an LP token which you can then utilize within our farms, which we're going to actually further incentivize by placing POP tokens in that funds. So you would actually be able to earn more tokens by using your LP and then taking it over to our farms that we're going to highly incentivize from the outset, which is then going to encourage further liquidity. supplied by the community. And then obviously we can really reward our community really highly by doing so. Then I'm going to take you on to the ice cream van staking. So now we've mentioned that we had 0.03825% as a transactional fee that will be added into the ice cream van pool. But what exactly is it for? Well, basically, the ice cream van pool is from where you can actually take your POPs tokens, and you might not want to supply liquidity, you might not want to farm, but you might want to earn a passive income from just holding POPs tokens, and you might want to increase your own POPs tokens holding by doing so, right? So you would take your POPs to the ice cream and you would literally stake it. And then while you stake it, there would be no time lock periods or anything like that. You can unstake at any given point. And then you would get a share of those transactional fees paid to you. And then that would just grow, and then you unstake it, and then you would have more POPs than what you then started with. So that's the idea and the concept behind that. Then one cool feature, which to be fair is Dale's idea, which is something why I wanted him to personally talk about it. So governance. So one major goal is for Swapsicle to be fully decentralized community governed project where community stakeholders can vote on proposals submitted by both the Swapsicle team and community members. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do this in a voted escrow way, where the way we envisage it, this is to work is via an escrowed vote facility where POPs holders lock up POPs exchange, the POPs exchange token for VE POPs tokens. We will apply a weighted voted power metric whereby voting power will be based not just on the number of V POP tokens, but for the duration that they have been held. This prevents any short-term risk of influence from whales or those who wish to manipulate the votes. So just to give you some scenarios, right? So one POP token staked plus quadratic weight metric equals 1 VE POP. Then one LP token plus quadratic weight metric equals 2 VE POPs. And I think you guys get the understanding that the more you do on the platform and the longer you hold, the more voting right that you get within the system that you guys are going to be the lifeblood, and you're going to be the lifeblood of. Then, Tom, can you speak now?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate.
Perfect. So we're now going to move on to the future features of Swapsicle. So Lee's obviously gone over what we're going from launch. So now I'm going to go on to the stuff that we've got on our roadmap. So one of the first features that we want to introduce is crowdfunding as a service. So we will be incubating and developing our own product. And I've got some exciting news that we are currently developing some, but obviously for commercial reasons, I can't disclose those yet. So that's something to keep an eye out on. And another feature that we're going to be bringing in is lending. So we're going to offer our users of the platform the ability to lend or borrow against their assets. So there are a couple of the features that we've got coming up down the line. In addition to that, as we've already announced, that we will be going cross-chain. Now, again, on our roadmap, we've got multiple blockchains listed. So again, we'll announce them as and when they come. So I'll pass it back to you now, Jake.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so have we covered the main...
He's gone.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of issues. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man. So just to let everyone aware who may be listening or may not be listening, but there are some Discord server issues that we've had a little bit of a check. So some people may be having audio issues. Some people may be experiencing no issues and thinking, what the hell's going on? So just to let everybody know that myself, Jacob, and Dale are affected here. So bear with. But Lee, Tom, thanks. You're doing a sterling job, guys. Keep it going.
Yeah, I'll try and keep it on track. And when I go off, I'll have to jump off and jump back on. But we've had I mean, what we want to do now, and we're going to attempt it, given that Discord servers are being a bit funny, but we're going to open up for some questions so we can bring you guys up and ask, any and all questions you have on what Lee's, kindly spoke through and Tom's kindly spoke through on the white paper. So yeah, by all means, please raise your hands with any questions. We're going to open up for about 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll do our best to answer them.
Doesn't look like there's a lot of questions for the white paper, which is good because it just shows you that we've answered a lot of the questions right.
Absolutely. I was wondering whether I had audio problems. I was literally about to leave and come back on again. So
no, that's fair enough. So have you got some pre-prepared? Oh, we've got one. Here we go.
That's fine.
So could you invite Skippy Submind up, please?
Absolutely. Oh no, I can't. That's this. Dan, would you be able to?
Yeah, I'll get him on.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, it won't let me. Hey, Skippy, can you hear us?
Hey guys,
Can you hear me, Skippy?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, Skippy, you're making it look so easy to get up here and talk.
Oh, I'm glad you can hear me. I'm curious about with your decks, and I apologize if I missed this in the white paper. Are you going to be? What's your stance on MEV protection for your traders?
Sorry, what was the end bit? Any what? Sorry.
MEV protection, so maximum extractable value, basically like where a dex rearranges orders to extract the most value. Are you going to be basically taking first come first serve and providing like MEV protected trades, or I'm just curious what your stance is on that.
Yeah. No, well, to be honest with you, Skippy, these are things that we're going through with the experts at the moment. So some of these things we're looking at, we're just going to be like any other standard decks at this moment in time. And full open disclosure, we're kind of the code base that we're starting from and we're adapting is a fork of sushi. So that's kind of our foundation, and then we're adapting the smart contracts to suit our uniqueness there out. But that's basically the starting point from us moving on there on out.
Okay, sounds good. I'm honestly just curious.
No, absolutely. And something we should be able to answer, because it was a conversation that I was having probably about 36 hours ago, very late in the evening. And it's something that we want to attack, and I should be able to give you a more informed answer. The last thing I want to do, Skippy, is give you, let's say, a bullshit answer. I'd rather give you a firm, definitive answer. So that's what we'll look to do. So I'll write this question down, and it'll be something that we look to address within the next couple of days for you, Skippy. Okay.
Sure. And honestly, it's not a make or break it thing, but I can tell you, like, as a trader, if I'm going somewhere, I will absolutely choose the place that provides MEV protection over somewhere that doesn't.
Absolutely. And I totally understand your reasons why. So I appreciate the question. And I like the question as well, because it shows that you've got good foundational knowledge of the space, and you're thinking along the same lines of us. And it's good to have people of your ilk within our community as well actually understand it as well. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate the chance to come up here and ask you questions. Thanks.
Have you got any more questions, Skippy?
No, I think that's it, Lee.
Okay, lovely.
Unfortunately, Skippy, if you do have more questions, we will open up at the end if we've got enough time. Just to let everyone know, Dale is having connectivity issues, so he'll be in the general chat fielding any questions. So just to let you guys know, we don't have any other raised hands, and just in the concern of
you had some prepared questions, right, Jacob?
That's it. Yep. We're gonna get there. So just to let everyone know, if we've got time at the end, we will open up. So Yeah, we have seen a couple of FAQs coming through. So I think now's the time probably to address a couple of those. So the first one was, when will the pre-sale close, and what will happen to the remaining tokens? Now, Tom, I know we've had some discussions on this in the earlier phases of the pre-sale setup. So
Yeah.
I think it's about time we let everyone know on that one, Tom. So what have you got for us?
Yes, no, I've seen this question floating around quite a lot. So first of all, I'll give you guys an update on the Certic audit, just because obviously this is very dependent on when we're going to launch. So you guys can see from the current dashboard that we're at 70%, and they're currently auditing our smart contracts. So after we've done that, they will come back to us with bits they want us to rectify, whether that's commercial or to do with the smart contract itself. And then we'll give it back to them to re-review. So as you guys know, the Certic audit is a very in-depth process. So obviously, once that's done, we'll have an idea of when we want to launch. Now, leading on from that, that obviously will go in hand with the pre-sale. Now, once the Certic audit is completed, we will have a date in mind for when we're going to close the pre-sale. So whether that's in 3 to 4 weeks, we'll obviously keep you guys updated. But the idea we have in mind for the pre-sale is, once we have a date in mind that we want to close it off, we'll let you guys know in advance, and anything that's left over as a result from the pre-sale will be burned. So we will be effectively reducing the supply of pops if there is anything left.
Perfect. Thank you, Tom. And then I suppose I did cut out on audio, so I don't know if you went on to this question, but the second question we're getting a lot is, when's the DEX going to launch? We've seen a lot of people saying 3 to 4 weeks, and that's kind of being recycled a lot. And I feel like it's, we should really kind of be open and honest about a little bit about how it works and how the DEX launch is going to work.
Yes, so that just went hand in hand with what I just covered. So we're waiting on the Certic audit. As I said, you can see we're at 70% now. So once we've done our communications with Certic and given them back what they need, we'll be able to give everyone a more steady deadline.
Exactly, yeah. It's not just, and I don't know if you went into detail, that it's not just a matter of Certic audits, now complete, away we go. There will be communications after that and things that we may need to look into.
Yeah,
because it's also advisory. There's also advisory things. You can pass an audit, but there are things that you could potentially change and do, and we'll be taking those on board very seriously.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect. Well, that kind of rounds up the 2 FAQs that were floating around quite a lot. So I know I mentioned a special guest in the audience. Joma, I don't know if you're there to raise your hand, and we'll get you up on board. Dan will bring you up on board.
I think Joma might be having connection issues.
Okay, that's fine.
It looks like Jake's dropped off again. Sorry about this, guys. This has not made this an easy process. So I think in relation to the other updates we were going to give, I think we might need to reschedule this for potentially another AMA later this week. Do you guys agree with that, Lee and Alan?
Just bear me 2 seconds. Can we just have a pause in it for a minute, and I'll just see where Joma is for a sec, okay? And then I'll report back in 2 seconds. Oh, here he is now. We've got no. He's Joma now.
Yeah, is he raised his hand? Yeah, if you could pull up Joma, Dan. Hi, Joma. Can you hear us okay?
I can. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. So
okay, awesome.
What a time to come on. Are you happy to do a bit of an introduction, or would you like Lee to give you a bit of an intro, Joma?
I'll let Lee do it, since I pretty much did not hear most of it. Yeah, it's been restarting like every 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, no problem. In the same boat, buddy. Lee, do you want to give a quick intro for Joma?
Absolutely. Well, what can I say about Joma? Firstly, I want to apologise for everybody who's having technical issues with Discord this evening. This throws everything out. and the flow of the conversation and how we speak and everything like that. So I'm getting direct messages and stuff like that why everything's going off. So I do apologise to everybody who's involved with this evening. This is not how we normally operate. But let's start about Joma. I was told a story. Joma's gone off, but I'm going to start anyway. So I was told a story about Joma about his project, which is Bigger Minds, and I was told about some of the unfortunate kind of experiences that he had early on in his project, where and it wasn't good to see. And I heard the story. We reached out to Joma, and we started talking to Joma, and we got on really well. And as part of any relationship that Swapsicle's looking to build, what we look to do before we speak to anybody, we have to dox them, right? Because that's kind of the Swapsicle standard. So basically, Joma spoke on Zoom calls, face to face, was very professional with how he dealt with the situation, and was happy to supply us with identification in the process of dealing with us. And then we were like, right, okay. And then we then done our own quality check on Bigger Minds and Joma as an individual, right? So what's the first thing Swapsicle will look at when they're looking at a potential partnership? So option one is, feature one is basically, right, are they fully doxed? Yes, they're fully doxed. I know who Joma is. He supplied ID, so I know who he is as well. Okay. Then two, right, now we've got to look at the tokenomic structure of the project. Do we like the project? Do we look at the sustainability of the project? Yes, we do. And then the third question is this someone who we feel we can work with? And the answer is yes, we do. And then kind of you then start looking, right, okay, can I tie a commercial agreement up with an actual organisation, an LLC, or in America, or a limited company in the United Kingdom? And yeah, that's kind of where we got to. And then me and Joma kept talking on how we could help each other. And now I'm kind of going to hand you guys the floor to Joma before he cuts out again quickly, just to kind of let you guys know about the communication that we've had with Joma and Bigger Minds. No, well, it looks like I'm going to have to do it. Do you know what I think the tip is for anybody who keeps getting kicked out? I'm connected via a phone rather than a laptop. I think there's an issue with people's laptops. So I think that's what's kicking people out at the moment. So if you are having connection issues with a laptop, connect via your phone, and I think you'll be fine. So we'll bring Joma back on in a minute about the process and what we're looking to do. But what we've actually done, we've tied up a commercial agreement with Bigger Minds, where they're actually going to list and bring their liquidity over to Swapsicle and launch. And what we're going to do in return for that is incentivize their farms. Remember, I was talking about this earlier on about incentivizing communities to become a bigger community. So Bigger Minds have their own community and their own investors, and we feel if we can bring them into our community and we can work together, we become more powerful the more we become, right? So how does that look? So they have liquidity that the community supplies currently on Trader Joe. Step one is educating the community that this is a community partner, right? So they come and supply that liquidity on Swapsicle instead. Then the second part of that agreement is, right, well, we've got 80 million POPs tokens. We're going to highly incentivize that farm that the community can use their LP tokens to actually earn POPs rewards with. Okay, so the idea is it's a liquidity game for whole crypto community and DEX play, right? It's a liquidity game. The more liquidity and volume we can bring to the DEX, the more successful we're going to become, and the community becomes, and then it will incubate more projects, and it will all kind of work its way and all come back into each other. The table's big enough for us all to eat from. So the idea is that we become a bigger community, right? And we all help one another, and we develop, and we all help the utility of each and every one's tokens. So Joma, over to you if you can now speak.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, my man.
Yeah. So where are we at? I'm very lost.
Let me fill you in, because
Yeah.
basically, because nobody else was talking, I actually had to let everybody know.
Okay.
So I do apologise. So I talked him through the Swapsicle quality check where you supplied ID. We talked at length about how we could work together. And then the next part was that basically how we could incentivize your community to kind of supply community owned liquidity over, and we're going to incentivize that by incentivizing the farms with the POPs tokens, and that we're going to work together to add utility into the mine token itself and the POPs token itself, and bring both communities together and work as one. And that's the idea, and that's kind of where I got to, Joma.
Correct. Well, thank you, Lee. And everyone, I'm Joma. I'm the founder of Bigger Minds. So yeah, Lee and I have been talking for a while now on how we can work together, and basically what he said, that's what we've been doing, right? So we're trying to, how can we make everything better for everyone, right? So I'm pretty sure he said this, that
I think he's gone again.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, I'm just going to take a pause on a minute, because we need to see if Joma comes back up to finish what he wanted to say. I just can't believe how bad Discord's been today with kicking people out and stuff. It's actually, here we go. So Joma's back in.
I'm so sorry. What was the
No,
last
it's
thing you guys
okay.
heard?
It's Discord, Joma, so stop apologising, my friend. It keeps rebooting. It's kicking a lot of people out. I've got, my DMs haven't been on fire for like this for a while. So yeah, please, sorry to interrupt you with the disconnections, Joma.
Yeah. So what was the last thing you guys heard?
The last thing we heard is that basically about the communities coming together, and then I'm sure Lee told you, and then that's when it cut off.
Oh, correct. Yeah. So, like you usually say, the table is big for everyone, right? So that's what we're trying to do. How can we bring a better experience for all communities around the DeFi space, right? Trying to build something that's safe. As of now, we know DeFi can be very scary. There's a lot of people that are not dukes and projects doing a lot of rugs and things happening, right? So how can we build a safe environment to have the best of both worlds, right? How can we bring some traditional business to the DeFi space and run things as a business so everyone can benefit and have something safe? That's pretty much, what we're trying to do. Is there anything specific you want me to talk about, Lee?
What I would like to do is just talk about the process of conversation, about what both communities ideally want to happen, and the reason why we decided that this was a good agreement to sign for both parties.
Correct.
Well, maybe I need to answer that because I think Joma's been kicked off again. So, like Joma was saying, that basically we're trying to make the table bigger for everybody to eat from, right? So the idea is that obviously we bring communities together, like I've said 3 times now, and then we make that a better place to participate with trusted people and communities that we feel we can operate with. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of rugs out there, people, right? There's a lot of dishonest people who are after everybody's pound or everybody's dollar right in this world. And kind of what we want to do at Swapsicle, we want to kind of do our checks on people and businesses and individuals to make sure that we're checking the individuals that we work with. Obviously, we're a decentralized exchange. We can't control the liquidity of the trading pairs that actually list on our project, on our DEX, right? Because it's a decentralized exchange after all. But we've got a choice about who we choose to work with and choose to promote, right? So with the Bigger Minds promotion, the idea is that basically we give them some exposure, because obviously they're a project that's relatively new and they could do with some exposure. And in return, they bring their liquidity. And as their liquidity grows, more transactional fees go back to Phoenix Capital. And then also more transactional fees go to the stakers. They go to the liquidity providers, and it all gets shared around. So the idea is that we all participate. We use all the functions within the DEX. And there are going to be some great features within the DEX in the future that you won't be able to use from day one, but you should be able to use within, let's say, 4 to 8 weeks of us going live. Like we said, we've talked about crowdfunding. We've talked about lending. We've talked about going cross-chain. We've talked about what else have we talked about? We've talked about cross-chain, and we've talked about adding more chains to the system as we go. I'm just inviting Joma back up now because I think he's been booted out again. So I'm going to hand the floor back to you, Joma. He's gone again. Right. What I think we'll do, guys, is we're going to reschedule an AMA once Discord has sorted its shit out. Because this is getting really frustrated with the people that are getting kicked in and out all the time and people can't hear, and it seems to be me the only one who's speaking. Even though I love to speak and I could continue to speak crypto all day long, every day, and I wouldn't have an issue in doing so. But I'm sure that will get boring after a given period of time. So what I think will be best to do is to kind of pass it back around the room just to say goodbye for the evening, and then we'll arrange an actual Bigger Minds AMA, guys, when we can actually go through all the questions and everything with Joma, and we can invite the community up to ask questions about the partnership. But basically the website is biggerminds.io, and you can follow them on Twitter. The concept is basically you buy 70 mine tokens. You're buying mine tokens, and you need 70 mine tokens to create a brain, and then you earn 0.7 per brain per day. And then the idea is within this actual product is that basically they lessen the rewards with each product that they bring out. So to give you an example, one of many. And obviously, you guys do your own research on Bigger Minds anyway, right? But if you look at Bigger Minds as a project, the way they're doing it is like they're going to bring out staking as one, right? Where they're going to reward the users, where you're going to have to stake your token, but they're going to lessen the rewards once that product goes live. So to actually earn your 0.7, you're going to have to stake to earn that 0.7. So they're going to continue to kind of grow out an ecosystem of where you can actually use your token to generate passive income. But it isn't just going to be a case of buying some tokens, sit there and just cashing out every day. you're going to have to reuse your tokens to get the maximum rewards out of the system. And this is what I love about Bigger Minds. They've actually really thought about the knock-on effect of daily withdrawals, and they've really thought about what they're going to do with each product that they bring out. Because basically what it does with every product that it bring out, it adds scarcity. And basically they've also talking about partnerships as well to actually take selling pressure off of the actual token. And every conversation that I've had with Joma throughout the process has been really, really enlightening. I really like the guy. I trust the guy personally. And yeah, I'm looking forward to working with Joma and his team at Bigger Minds in the future. And I'm looking forward for you guys to come on the next AMA, which we'll arrange before the end of the week, where you guys can come up and ask any questions that you want to of Joma himself. So I'd like to thank you all for tuning in this evening, even though it's been a little bit of a mess because of the Discord server kicking us in and out. And what we'll do, we'll go to the general chat room. So if there's any questions or anything that anybody wants to ask after today's white paper. One quick question, Jacob.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. When are we gonna when and where are we posting the white paper, or have we posted it already?
So Tom's got the white paper ready to drop. So we're going to drop it in the Discord exclusively first.
Yeah.
And that will just be the document, and then we will eventually update our site to show the white paper on there as well. But from what I understand, it will be exclusively in the Discord.
Okay, one thing I want to be very clear about within our white paper, we've tried to make it easily readable and easily understandable for everybody to read, right? There is no emission schedule within our white paper. And people go, why have you got no emission schedule? Because we don't want people to know what we're doing, because we believe people may trade against it. Okay? And there's a problem with farming tokens in general, that a lot of people within the industry make a lot of money from farming tokens, and we don't want to be like any other farming token out there, right? That's why we're going to turn our POPs token into a fixed supply deflationary environment. We won't tell you how just yet, but that's how we're different to a lot of the other competitors out there, where it's going to be a community-owned project, it's going to be a deflationary project, and it's going to be a utility project, where we're going to build this ecosystem out together as a team, as one, as a community, and we're going to bring other communities to us to help us do that. And then we're going to become more powerful over time. And I'm so excited of the journey we're about to go on together. I really am. And honestly, if you guys knew the conversations that I was having at this moment in time, you guys would go, what? You're having those kind of conversations? Yes, we are having those kind of conversations with potential partners. And there is already... like, for instance, we've got a DEX at Certic audit, and you think, we might just sit there and like do nothing. Well, what if I told you we're actually developing another project now, and it's going to be live probably not far away from when the DEX launches, and you're going to be like, what? How have they managed to do that? Because we will not sit on our laurels. We won't rest on our laurels even. We will continue to build all that money that you guys gave us from the pre-sale. That's going straight into development and covering our overheads, because let's remember that we're giving all the transactional fees back to you, the community, and Phoenix Community Capital, and we're not taking a penny from that. So that is our overhead to give us a run rate, which was a pre-sale, and also we're going to use that to develop a suite of products and an ecosystem to make the POPs token so liquid, and we want to build so much utility into it. We're so passionate about it, and I'm so passionate about the team of individuals that I've got behind me, because honestly, we're going into development overdrive, and all I'm going to say to you guys is watch this space, because I think you guys will be surprised, and I'm looking forward to start this journey, really, because it's been in planning for so long now. And now we're like, oh, we're waiting on the auditor. Who really likes auditors? I know we need the auditors, but the auditors are normally slow, right? And this auditor's slow. That's full disclosure. This auditor's slow. And just kind of sitting there waiting, just like you guys, really. And you're like, oh, it's 70%. I mean, it just seems to move so slow. Because we just want to go live. We just want to, we want to kind of go out, but we've just got to realise that we will not put our users' safety at risk before going live. So that means that we will not be going live until we're 100% CertiK audited. Because we said to you on our pre-advert, before pre-sale, when we kind of announced what we were doing, that we're going to have the highest levels of professionalism, right? Well, I don't think we'd be very professional if we went live before a CertiK audit. So from my point of view, that's what we need to do. But I think I'm going to leave it for tonight now. And I really do appreciate everybody's time and everybody for tuning in. And I look forward to our next AMA. Jacob, can you organise that with Joma before the end of the week, please, my friend? Oh, he's gone quiet. So, yeah, we'll organise another AMA with Joma from Bigger Minds before the end of the week. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in this evening. And, yes, and I'll see you guys all soon.